Okay, welcome to Not Your Daughter's Yoga on Tuesday, November 2nd. It always takes me a second to figure that out. Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. I hope everyone had a great Halloween weekend. I don't know about you, but I got a serious sugar rush on. And I feel like I need to do some serious yoga to help fix that situation.
What was
So
the
go ahead.
joke?
Oh, I can still hear people, so I'm gonna mute people.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
That's okay. Uh, All right, we're gonna mute people. Okay, there we go. So you can go ahead and make your way onto your mat and we'll begin lying down. So find a comfortable position. You may wish to plant your feet below your hips, with a generous bend in the knees and plant your hips or plant your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Allow the knees to relax in towards each other to support each other for a nice restful, restorative pose. Or you might just want to, stretch out long. Maybe take a stretch on the way through and then take up all the space on your mat. It's your mat, it's your time, it's your space. And once you find your way onto your back, just lift your hips ever so slightly, settle them back down so that you have lots of room for your lower back. And once you're nice and comfy, I want you to soften your eyelids and turn your focus inward and make mental space. I want you to push things out that you don't have to worry about right now. And you don't have to worry about anything right now. You've made the time and the space on your mat to take care of your own needs. So push aside things that happened before you got there, push aside things that will happen later, push aside to do lists, intentions, all of it. Just allow yourself to enjoy being in this place, in this safe space that you've carved out for yourself. And then you can take a nice big breath in through the nose, filling the lungs as full as they will go. Sigh it out. As you sigh it out, feel weight and expectations leaving your body. So again, inhale, holding it for just a moment at the top, and then exhaling, letting tension and stress go. Feel your body soften in response to those big breaths. Couple more. Big inhale. Sigh it out, letting go. One more. Inhale. Hold for a moment at the top. Your body softening in response. And then you can begin to modulate your breath so that you're taking a nice smooth inhale through the nose to a slow count of 4. Hold for just a moment and then exhale to a slow count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Find a rhythm that works in your body. It could be slightly faster or slower than the rhythm that I've suggested. Just find what works for you so that your breath is flowing smoothly, sustainably. Your body is just feeling nice and soft and relaxed. Just keeping your mind focused on your breath, letting everything else fall away for the moment. Keeping your mind focused on your breath. And then you can start adding in some slow movement in the body. We're going to do this in a guided way. So, keeping your breath moving nice and steadily, start to wiggle your toes. And then you can point and flex your feet a few times. And then you can take some circles in the ankles. Maybe there's a little snap, crackle, pop going on there. That's okay. We don't mind that. I'll invite you to gently hug your knees up toward your chest and just cradle them with your arms so you can really relax. Just gently hugging the knees in and slowly rocking the hips, noticing how the hips are feeling today. And you can lower your legs again, planting your feet on the ground. And then you can just focus in on the softness of your belly, noticing how it rises and falls with the rhythm of your breath. And making sure that the shoulders are down away from the ears. Your arms could be relaxed beside you, or perhaps they're resting over your belly. You can flex your biceps, bend the elbows, and pull your arms in toward yourself. And then relax the arms again. Take some circles with the wrists and reverse. Breath is still flowing smoothly. And ball your hands up into fists. Squeeze and release. Again, squeeze and release. Turning your attention to your neck. Swallowing, relaxing the throat. And gently turn the head side to side. This does not have to be a big motion. It's just gentle back and forth. And then open and close your jaw a few times. Noticing how the muscles in your face and jaw are feeling. And feel your face very passive and relaxed. The weight of your head comfortably resting on the ground. And then I'll invite you to take a big stretch. Get really long. Take up lots of space as long as you can. And then again, hug your knees in toward your chest, embracing your legs. And if you like, you pull your head up in the direction of your knees, getting really small into a tiny little ball. And then relax the head back down, rolling over onto your right side. And just pause there for a couple of breaths. And then slowly bringing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. So that could look like legs outstretched in front of you or a comfortable cross-legged position, whichever works better for you. Make sure that your sits bones are in contact with the ground. You're sitting up nice and tall, hands are relaxed, feeling like there's that imaginary string pulling you straight up from the top of your head. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, chin comes down to the chest. Inhale, coming through center, and slowly, gently gazing upward, noticing the natural range of movement. Exhale, coming back down, chin to chest. And again, inhaling up through center, gently gazing up and coming to center. And take your left hand and reach it up and over. Gently bring your left hand onto the right side of your head, and then allow the weight of that hand to help the head move over to the left. So tilting the head to the left, getting a nice long stretch to the right side of your neck. Lovely. And release. And we'll take it on the other side. So right hand up and over, resting the weight of that hand on the side of the head, allowing the left side of the neck to be nice and long. You're not pulling, you're just using the weight of that hand. Keeping the breath flowing nice and smooth. And release. We'll bring our arms out into a T. Bring the left arm under the right, your choice. Wrap for eagle arms or bring hands under the shoulders. In either case, really actively push the elbows up, ducking the head forward and down, really rounding the upper spine. Hello, Haruki. Are you joining us? Are you joining us for a little yoga? Nice deep breath. And release the arms wide. This time we'll take right arm underneath left. Again, your choice, eagle arms or hands to shoulders. Pushing the elbows up, ducking the forehead down, rounding the upper spine. Imagine that you can breathe right into the space between your shoulder blades. And you can release. We'll just take some nice big arm circles going forward first. Noticing how the shoulders are feeling today. And then you can reverse the motion and really nice and slow. Big movements. And bring your left hand down beside you. Walk it out to the side, stretching the right arm up and over. Getting really long through the right side of the body, letting the head and neck relax. Make sure that you keep the right hip really planted down on the mat. So if you feel your right hip rolling up, just relax out of it a bit. Make sure that hip stays in firm contact with the ground. And coming up through center, we'll bring the right hand down, stretching the left up and over. Again, the left hip is going down to the ground. Left arm is going up and over. So you're really stretching out the left side of your body. Relax the head and neck. And coming up to center. Again, your choice to remain cross-legged, or perhaps for the spinal twist, you'd like your legs out in front. If that's the case, just a fist width between the legs. We're going to plant the left foot, and then you're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the left knee, left hand behind. Before you go anywhere, make sure that your right thigh is rolled up and in. So your foot is straight, toes are actively peeling back toward you. Left hand goes behind. Inhale to get tall. Exhale to twist to the left. Relax the head and neck. If you're leading with your gaze, just remind yourself to bring the twist right from the base of your spine. And you can unwind. Take both of your hands over to the right and just bow your body forward for a moment and then come back up. It's just one way you can come out of a twist and counterbalance it. So we'll straighten the left leg, plant the right foot, make sure that that left leg is rolled up and in, getting nice and tall. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind, inhaling to get tall, and exhale to twist. Twist coming from the base of the spine. Relaxing the head and neck again. One last breath. And you can untwist, bring both hands to the left, and just bow forward ever so slightly. And then come back up. We're going to bring our knees around and come on to hands and knees. So sitting up in a neutral tabletop position, engaging the lower belly so that you're flattening out your lower back. If your shoulders are bothering you, set your hands about 6 inches further forward, but otherwise wrists are below shoulders, knees below hips. We'll go into our cat and cow, starting with cow. So inhale, drop the belly, raise the hips, and look forward and perhaps up. Exhale, reverse the motion. Drop the hips and head, really push up between the shoulder blades. Enjoy that nice, slow feeling in your spine. Inhaling through to cow. Exhaling to cat. On your inhale, coming to cow. Exhale, coming through to cat. You can add some wiggle in now. I'm going to freestyle it here, so make your cow and cat as funky as you want. You want to hang out at one end or the other, absolutely do that. And we'll take 3 more rounds, doing whatever you like. Last round. And when you finish, just come back to a neutral tabletop position. We're going to do some balancing work here. So if you know that you prefer to keep both hands down, then do so for the entirety of Tiger. So I'll invite you to place your weight on your left knee. Hug the right knee in toward your chest. Inhale it in. Exhale, extend it back. If you want to add in the left arm, you can outstretch it. So inhale, knee and arm come in to meet underneath you. Exhale, stretching long. Inhale it in, moving nice and slow. Exhale, stretching long. 2 more. Inhale in. Exhale, stretch out. One more. Inhale it in. And exhale, stretch and hold for a breath. And now gently lower the knee and the hand. Good work. So again, your choice whether you want to add in the arm, shift the weight over the right knee, hug the knee in, the left knee in, and you can hug the right arm in. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, squeeze the elbow and knee in. Extend and squeeze in. Getting long, squeezing tight. Exhale, and one more time. Inhale it long. Hold for a breath. And bring the hand and knee down. Good work. We're going to inhale the right arm up. So we're going to open the chest. Exhale, bring that right arm down underneath you, reaching to the opposite side for thread the needle. So inhale, sweep the arm up. Exhale, sweeping down and under. Inhale, up. Exhale, sweep and reach. One more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, sweeping and reaching. If you like, you could come down onto your right shoulder and pause there, or you can just keep your reach going. Staying for a breath. And then coming back to neutral tabletop position. We'll take it on the other side. So sweep the left arm up. Exhale, reaching it to the opposite side. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, reach through. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, reach through. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale through. You can either just keep the reach going, or you could come down onto the shoulder for a moment. And come back to a neutral tabletop position. We'll turn the toes under, walk your hands back. So you could bring your hands right in front of your knees. Notice how that's feeling, just a little foot stretch. If you wanted, you can bring your hands up onto your thighs. And then walk your hands back out. So you're coming back into table and just flutter the tops of your feet against the mat. So just a little foot stretch. I'll remind you of the modification for downward facing dog. So in that case, you would turn your toes under and walk your hands forward, extending your heart toward the ground, making sure the head and neck stay nice and loose. Really powerful hands. Breathing deeply. If you want to come onto your feet for downward facing dog that way, and come up onto your feet and pedal your legs. Yogi's choice. You do what works for you. In either variation, keep that breath really moving, opening the heart toward the ground. Strong hands. One more breath. And then we're going to make our way onto our feet at the top of the mat and slowly roll up to stand. Beautiful. So feet are narrow hip width apart, abdomen is engaged, shoulders are down away from the ears. Your hands can rest at your side. You are tall and strong in mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. You may wish to gently gaze up. Exhale, swan dive forward, gentle bend in the knees, coming all the way down. We'll bring hands onto shins. Inhale, come halfway up into a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to take that 2 more times. So inhale, Coming halfway up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale down. We're going to hang out in forward fold for a second. So make sure you leave a nice gentle bend in the knees. You can cradle the arms one in the other. And then just add in some gentle, small movement, swaying a little bit, saying hello to those hamstrings. Gentle movement. Good. And then really bend the knees, plant the hands on your mat, step your feet all the way back, and then lower onto the knees, untucking the toes. So making sure you've got a nice long line from your shoulders all the way back to your knees. Inhale. Get ready, squeeze those elbows in, and then lower yourself as slowly as you can. So thighs coming down, hips, belly, chest, and then finally the forehead comes down. Hands can stay under your shoulders, but they're just gently resting on the mat. On an inhale, bring the chest, neck, and finally the head up for cobra. Exhale, relax the head forward and down. We're going to take that one 2 more times as well. So inhaling up to cobra. No pressure in the hands. You can even float them up if you like. Exhale, coming down. One more time. Inhaling up to cobra. And exhaling down. Turn the toes under. Push back up to knees. And then your variation of downward facing dog. So could be opening the chest toward the ground from knees, or coming up onto your feet, whichever you prefer on this day. Sometimes we feel like because we do something one way one day, we always have to do it that way, and that is not true. Listen to what your body's telling you today and do as it's asking today. Nice big breaths. On your next exhale, make your way onto your feet at the top of the mat and slowly roll up to stand. Good. So we're going to bring our feet in a little bit, and we're going to bring the toes together, but leave space between the heels. So you're pigeon toeing here. Standing up nice and tall as usual. We're going to inhale the arms up, bring the palms together, maybe gaze up, and then part the palms. Sit yourself down in an imaginary chair. As you sit, try and get the thighs parallel to the ground. Make sure that the tailbone is rounded and rolling under. If that's bothering your shoulders with your arms up, you can bring your hands to your shoulders. Nice big breaths here. Big work. 2 more breaths. One more. And release. So coming into a forward fold, really relax, bend in the knees. If you wanted, you could sway a little bit more again. And then arms come down, slowly, 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 rolling up to stand nice and tall again. We're going to take a second round of chairs, so make sure that you're pigeon-toed again. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, part the hands, sitting down in that chair again. Your knees are going to come together. That's what the pigeon toeing is about, is so that your knees aren't completely smushed. You can bring your hands to heart center, and you can stay exactly like this. If you want to take a little twist, you can bring the upper side of the left arm to the outside of the right knee, pushing into your palms, twisting for a moment. Stay for a breath. Coming through center, and then bringing the upper right arm to the left. Hands push into prayer. Staying for a breath. And coming back to center. And then forward fold. Breathing deep. Relaxing. And bring the hands to the thighs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. Step the feet all the way to the back of the mat. And again, lower onto the knees, untucking the toes. Again, we're going to lower really slow. So hug those elbows in. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lowering yourself slowly, slowly, slowly down. Finally, bringing the forehead down. We'll bring our hands back by our hips so your palms are up. Bring your toes together so your legs are zipped together. Inhale, bring the chest, neck, and head up. Exhale, everything else comes up for locust. Big deep breaths here. One more breath. And head comes down. Bend at the knees so your feet are coming up. Gently windshield wiper. Just releasing the lower back. And again, outstretch the legs. Bring the toes together. Inhale, coming into cobra. Exhale, lifting everything to come into locust. So really lifting from the lower back. Seeing with every inhale if you can get a little higher. One more breath. And release. Head comes down to the mat. And bring your hands under your forehead this time. Again, bend at the knees. Windshield wiper. Good work. Feet can come down. Hands can come back under your shoulders. Push up onto your knees. Your variation. So turn the toes under. Opening the chest toward the ground for downward facing dog of your choice. Taking nice deep breaths here. One more breath. And then we'll come to the top of the mat on our feet once more. Good. We're going to take warrior 2 if you need to. Grab a little water. I know once we get indoor heating going in, I'm even more dehydrated. I don't know how it's possible to be such a dehydrated person, but I am. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. Your hands can come to your hips. We're going to be stepping the right leg, big step, all the way to the back of the mat. The edge of your right foot is going to be parallel with the back edge of your mat. Your left heel will be in line with your right arch. Make sure that the left ankle is ahead of the knee so that you have room to lunge. Right arm straight back, left arm straight forward, looking forward, and lunge, adjusting your stance if you need to. And then finding stillness in your lunge. Make sure that you are pushing your left knee out to the left with the power of your left big toe. Don't let that knee collapse in. So keep it moving out. Big breaths here. You can add in arch your arms if you wish. Inhale. Exhale back, option to follow with eyes. Inhale. Exhale, draw back. Inhale it forward. Exhale, draw back. Keep focused on lunging low. Inhale forward. Exhale, draw back one more time. Inhale forward. Exhale, draw back. If your head is anywhere else, turn it forward again. Turn the left palm upward. Scoop the air up and back for revolved warrior. Your right hand can slide down the right leg. Thinking about lunging low as you reach high. So going in 2 directions here. Nice big breath. One more time. Come back to your warrior two. Hold for an inhale. On your exhale, straighten the front leg. Reach as far forward as you can. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand comes down, could come to thigh, shin, ankle, floor. Right arm stretches up overhead. Head and shoulders are relaxed here. You could choose to gaze down to the side or even testing balance, gazing up. That right hand is really powerful. We're not going to do limp hands here. We got nice, powerful hands. Keeping that breath moving. One more inhale. Exhale, really deeply bend the left leg. Bring both hands down to the mat. And then we're going to lower the right knee. So if you know you'd like extra cushioning, fold your mat under. And you can also have a block handy as we come into lizard. So if you're using the block, set it by your left instep and then bring your hands onto your left thigh, bringing yourself upright. Again, make sure that the left ankle is well ahead of the left knee so that you have room to lunge. So inhale really tall. Exhale, gently sink the hips forward and down. You may have to adjust the placement of your foot, finding a lunge that works for you. You could stay exactly like this, or if you prefer, bring both hands to the inside of the left leg, bringing hands down onto a block or even down onto the ground. On your next exhale, I want you to back your hips out a little bit. So stay backed out for a breath. And then on an inhale, sink them forward again. Noticing that may make a small difference. Just really trying to let yourself relax into it. One last breath. And you can bring the hips back again. Draw the left foot back by the right. Set your block off to the side. Unroll your mat. We will bring our hips back on our heels. Bring your knees as wide as your mat. Walk your hands forward. Just going to come into child's pose for a couple of breaths here. Reaching the hands forward. You can walk your fingertips over to the right for a breath. Coming back through center. Walk your fingertips over to the left for a breath. Coming through center. One more breath. Exhale. And then we're going to make our way through our version of downward facing dog. Stay for one more breath. And then gently making your way onto your feet at the top of the mat. Coming up to stand. So we're going to take our warrior two on the left side now. So starting out, feet narrow hip width apart, standing nice and tall, hands are on the hips. Inhale, take that giant step back with the left foot. So the edge of your left foot is aligned with the back edge of your mat. Make sure that your right heel is in line with your left arch and that ankle is well ahead of the knee. Right arm goes straight forward, left arm straight back, lunging forward, coming into warrior two. As before, make sure that your torso is really upright and that you're pushing the right knee out to the right, the power of that big toe. Big breaths here. Inhale the arm forward if you wish, just an option. Exhale, draw it back. Inhale forward. Exhale, draw back. Inhale forward. Exhale, 2 more. Inhaling. Exhale back 1 more time. Inhale it forward. Exhale, draw back. If your head is back, turn it forward again. Right palm up, scoop that air up and back, coming into revolved warrior. Left hand can just rest on the left thigh. So thinking about stretching the arm up as you keep your lunge low. One more big breath here. Coming back to warrior 2, staying for an inhale. On the exhale, straighten the front leg. Reach as far forward as you can with the right arm and then rotate it down. So it could come to thigh, shin, ankle, or floor. Left arm straight up, powerful left fingers, nice and splayed. Again, you could gaze down to the side or challenge yourself to look up toward the thumb, whichever works for you. Stay for 2 more breaths. And we're going to turn your head downward if it was anywhere else. Big bend in the right knee. Bring both hands down. Grab the left side of the mat if you want some extra cushioning. Bringing the left knee down. Grab your block. Bring it by your right instep. And then both hands onto the right thigh so you come up nice and tall. Make sure that the right ankle is well ahead of the right knee. Inhaling. On the exhale, sink the hips forward and down. You can stay exactly like this. If you like, bring your arms to the inside of the right instep, and your hands could come onto your block or even onto the ground. Breathing into it. Big sensation here, so just find a place where you can hang out. Noticing but not reacting. On your next exhale, bring your hips halfway out. Stay for a breath. And then exhale, sink them forward again. Just noticing maybe you have a little bit more room there, or maybe things feel pretty much the same. One more breath. And again, you can draw the hips back. Bring the right foot back by the left. Set your block off to the side. Organize your mat. This time, we're going to keep our knees together. So toes are touching, knees are together. Coming forward into child's pose again. Your hands are outstretched. If you would like to try a variation, walk your hands as far forward as you can. Plant your elbows on the mat just ahead of your ears. Bring your hands into prayer and then bring the hands to the back of the head. You can also walk the elbows forward just a touch from there so that you start to feel a stretch through the undersides of the upper arms. This is a tricky area to stretch, so I love this. I just love it. I just think it feels so nice. Nice, big, slow breaths. And you can release and come into your variation of downward dog. Just making sure you bring the knees to narrow hip width first. Relaxing yourself into the downward facing dog. So powerful hands, chest opening toward the ground, head and neck is relaxed. Maybe take the opportunity to sigh out a couple of big breaths here. Letting go. And then we'll make our way onto our feet in a way that works for us. Meeting up again at the top of the mat. So rolling up to stand. We're going to turn ourselves sideways on the mat. And we'll walk our feet out. So we're going to find a nice, sustainable, wide-legged stance. So the outside edges of your feet are really actively pushing down into the mat so that you feel nice and stable. Raise your chest up so you're really making sure you're tall. Hands can come to the hips. Inhale. On the exhale, hinge directly at the hips and come forward. Keep a gentle bend in the knees, coming into our forward fold. If you like, you could place a block so you can bring the hands onto the block. You could also hold on to the legs, whatever works for you on this particular day. Big breaths here. You can stay exactly as you are, but I'm going to offer a slight variation here. So you can bring yourself halfway up, and your left hand is going to stay on the block or on the ground. You're going to reach the right arm up and twist out to the right side. Hold for a breath. Exhale, you're going to bring the right arm down and switch it out for the left. So we're going to reach the left arm up this time. Stay for a breath. And then come down. Beautiful. Good. Going to stay down for one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself upright. Bringing the hands to the hips. We'll just heel toe the feet in a little bit. So we're going to come into our goddess. So arms come out into a T. Bend at the elbows and turn your palms toward your face. Inhale, thinking about getting really tall. And then exhaling the seat down, sort of like a really wide-legged chair. Staying here for a couple of breaths. This is very intense, I know, but you got this. You are a goddess. Big breath. 3, 2, 1, and coming upright. Hands can come back to the hips, and then walking the feet in. We're going to prepare to come into our tree. So if you'd like some support for that, you can move to your favorite wall or chair. And again, we'll set up, feet narrow, hip width apart, standing up nice and tall, abdomen is engaged, shoulders are down away from your ears. You can bring the hands to the hips. You're going to rest your gaze a few meters ahead of you on something that isn't moving. So probably not a dog or a cat. Transfer your weight onto the left foot. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale the knee to the side and then plant that foot against your standing leg or ankle, or keep a toe or some toes down. Make sure that you squeeze your bum in, so active glutes, abdomen is engaged. Hands can come to heart center. When you're feeling ready, you can explore growing your tree. On this day, your tree may look quite different than it has on any other day, and that's totally fine. It's expected even. No two trees are ever quite alike. One last breath. Coming through heart center for a breath. And you're going to bring your hands to your hips. Bring the free knee forward and extend that leg out. Hold it up for a breath. See if you can lift it a little higher and then exhale it down with control. Beautiful. We'll set up for the other side. You can shake out the standing leg. So again, standing nice and tall, glutes and abs are engaged. Gaze is fixed on that non-moving point. Transfer your weight onto the left foot. Inhale, right knee up. Sorry, left knee. Exhale it to the side. Pushing the free foot into the standing leg or ankle or toes down. Tightening the glutes, engaging the abdomen. Again, hands come to heart center. And then you can explore Warrior Tree on this side. Just make sure that you don't let your shoulders creep up. Keep them down and away. One more breath. We're going to come through heart center. And then bring the hands to the hips. Inhale the free knee forward. Extend the leg out. Inhale it up. Hold. And slowly release with control. Wonderful. And shake out the standing foot. And we'll get ready to come into our squat. So if you know you would like the block ready to greet you, you can place that underneath you. If you're taking this from seated, go ahead and make your way there now. So standing up nice and tall, hands come to heart center. Inhale before we go down, we think about going up. And then slowly, slowly, with lots of control, lowering the hips toward the ground. If your hands come down first, help yourself get down. If you're coming all the way from standing, you can wiggle around a little bit when you come down. And then find a sustainable pose for you. So this could be on your block, directly on the ground, or staying on feet. Bring the outsides of your upper arms to the insides of the knees, and bring the hands to heart center. Coming into your variation of squat. Again, just because you normally do it one way does not mean you can't do it a new way today. So listening to what your body is asking for. Chest is broad. And just narrowing our attention onto our breath. Three more breaths. One more. And if you're still on your feet, gently bring yourself down to the ground and bring your feet forward, but your knees are going to stay fairly wide apart. You can hold your arms one in the other, or bring your hands down to your side for some support, and just roll back and forth. So knees come to the side, rolling up onto the outside of the hip, releasing that big hip stretch. Good. And then we'll bring the knees together. So sitting up nice and tall. You can bring your arms underneath if you like. Hug your torso in the direction of your thigh, and then allow your head and neck to relax forward, coming into a nice restorative forward fold. You can stay exactly like this if this is what your body's asking for. If you would like to engage the hamstrings a little bit more, you can straighten your legs out and then continue to fold forward. Just listening to what your body is telling you. Nice deep breaths. One more. And you can slowly roll back up. If you extended your legs, plant the feet again. Allow the knees to come out to either side. Your heels are quite far away from your body, so that you're making a nice giant diamond shape. Inhale, think about getting tall. Make sure your sits bones are in contact with the ground. And exhale, gently coming forward. Could be a little bit forward, could be a lot forward. Again, breathing. Imagining you can send that breath right to your hips. One more breath. And you can come back up. If you're sideways on your mat, still bring yourself lengthwise on the mat. Planting the feet, bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, drawing your chest forward, coming up as straight as you can. Releasing the hands and then lowering with control as slowly as you can onto your back. And coming all the way down. Your head is coming down to the mat. We'll keep our block handy for restorative bridge, but we'll start with an active version first. So plant your feet just below your hips. Hands are down by the hips, palms down, strong fingers. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, push the hips up toward the ceiling. Active bridge, so pushing down on the backs of the arms and the hands. With each exhale, see if you can push a little bit higher. Two more breaths. And one more. And release, lowering the hips. Gently windshield wiper the knees a few times. So we'll have our block ready by our hips. Again, hands down, pressing into the mat. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hips go toward the sky. And just bring that block underneath your lower back. So just above the top of your bum, not toward the middle back though. You want it to just be able to put the flat of your lower back onto that block. So coming into a nice restorative bridge. Breathing big here. If you wanted to extend really far, you could experiment with walking your feet out, maybe even eventually straightening the legs, depending on how you feel about big back extensions. Maybe it's for you today, maybe it's not for you. No matter where you are, just big breaths. Two more breaths. One last breath. If your feet are out, draw them back so that your feet are firmly planted. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, push the hips up. Hold for a breath. And then on the exhale, lower them down to the mat. And this time you can embrace your knees toward your chest and just roll on your lower back a little bit. Good. So we're going to plant the feet. You're going to cross the right leg over at the ankle, just below the left knee. And that right knee is coming out to the side. So you're making a figure 4. The really important part is that your right foot is very flexed and those right toes are peeling back toward the knee. So your options, you can use your block here. You can put it against the inside of the right knee and then gently place some pressure with your hand. So you can have a very restorative pigeon here, just totally relax. Or you could hug the left thigh in, taking a hold with a strap or your fingers behind that left thigh, squeezing it in toward you. Keep those right toes active, feeling a stretch to the outside of the right hip. The lower left leg can relax. Whichever version you have chosen. Again, imagine you've got some lungs down there in that hip and you can send your breath right into that hip. Two more slow breaths. And as you exhale, if you have a hold of the left thigh, release it. Uncross the right leg. Gently windshield wiper the knees a little bit. And then we'll set up for the other side. So right foot stays planted. Left ankle crosses just below the right knee. Left knee comes out to the side and those left toes are peeling back. So your options, use the block to the inside of the left knee and use your hand to gently open that hip, or draw the right thigh in, taking a hold with a strap or fingers, drawing that right thigh toward you, just making sure that you're really actively peeling the left toes back toward the left kneecap. The lower right leg can just totally relax. Big breaths here, sending your breath down to those little imaginary lungs in your hips. One more breath. And you can release your leg. Uncross the left leg from the right. Again, gently windshield wiper the knees back and forth a couple of times. And then you can cross your right leg over your left, no gap between the thighs. Bring your arms out into a T. If you like, you could grab your block and have it over by your left hip so that you have something for your legs to come over onto. Relaxing the legs over to the left, maybe coming on to your block. So just coming into a nice, simple spinal twist for a couple of breaths. Last breath. And then bring the knees upright. Uncross the right leg. Crossing the left leg this time. Bring the block over by your left hip. Just keeping in mind the further away the block is, the deeper your twist will be. Inhale to begin. Exhale, sinking those legs over to the right. You may need to adjust your block so your legs can come over and you can totally relax. And take a few more nice deep breaths. Last breath. And slowly bring the knees upright. Uncross the legs. And then we'll hug the knees in. Right knee toward right armpit. Left knee toward left armpit. You could stay exactly here if this is feeling good. Or option, bring the arms to the insides of the legs. Hands reach around either the insides or the outsides of the feet. I'm drawing the feet up toward the ceiling to come into stirrup, inside, or happy baby, outside. And then you can just rock a little bit on the lower back. A nice little massage here. And then if there's any more movements you'd like to take before your Shavasana, you can go ahead and take those now. So maybe you want to extend the legs out. Maybe you just want to keep rolling on your lower back. If shoulder stand is in your practice, maybe that's something you want to do. You don't even have to come fully up into shoulder stand. Sometimes I like to just come into a bent leg version and just kind of relax here, just making sure that the weight is staying on your shoulders and your upper arms, and that there's really very little to any weight on your neck. So just an option for shoulder stand if you're into that. Otherwise, just taking those last few movements, whatever your body's craving. And then you can begin to make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. So you could grab some water, blanket, stretching out nice and long, and finding something that works for you. Perhaps you'd like to put your rolled blanket or a throw pillow under your knees for support. So slowly making your way into a comfortable resting pose for you. And as you come to the end of your practice, we'll take a few more of those nice big resetting breaths. So nice big inhale and holding, and then a big exhale. Letting go of effort in your body, letting go of any muscle tension. Just really just stop trying and just let it go with your breath. Again, inhale, holding for a moment at the top, and then exhale, releasing everything. One more breath. Inhale, holding for a moment, and then exhale, all expectation, all intention, allowing yourself to just soften into a full relaxation where you can absorb the benefits of your practice. Your body is soft, passive, hopefully feeling warm, relaxed. Now allow yourself to feel the gentle force of gravity pulling you down into your mat. You're just melting into it. If you find at any point during your rest that your mind begins to wander, just gently encourage it back to your breath. Allow Allow yourself this time and place to absorb the benefits of your practice. And I'll be here to let you know when it's time to go. You can start to bring your awareness back into your body. Just noticing again where you are in space and time. Checking in, noticing how your body is feeling. Noticing how your mind is feeling. You can begin to invite some gentle movement. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Perhaps taking a nice long stretch, like you're waking up all over again. And then you can gently roll over onto your right side. Pause there for a couple of breaths. And bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Once you come up, make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. Your hands can come to heart center. Take a deep breath and lower your chin. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns, oh, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, and a stranger to a friend. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Namaste. Next time I'll wear my glasses.